What's up, Motu Universe? E-Daddy Eric Glenn is back. And I swear, it's always at the oddest times I get those. Anyways, welcome back for the second episode of this yet unnamed series, but we're just going to call it Motu Figures Review. Now, episode 1, if anybody's worried that they might have missed something, they didn't. The only thing they heard me talking about was my thoughts about different figures we've gotten as far as in toy line, the different toy brands, Mattel, Super 7, stuff like that. Let me kill this. Did look better, didn't it? So fix that light some. I swear I don't know how some of these guys do it. There, even better. Anyways, so like I said, if anybody's worried about missing anything important, they really didn't miss anything. So, anyways, that's the way it's said right now. This video is brought to you by just me. I'm not getting paid for any of this. I am also not being paid by Mattel or Super 7 or any other company that's ever released anything in the Masters of the Universe line. Okay? I am my own person, that diehard toy collector. So, don't want anybody thinking I'm doing this for money, because I'm not. But anyways, so give me a second here. We're going to rock it and roll it. Let me get everybody in the room. And we're going to do one more. And we will get this rolling. All right. Anyways, so episode 2, the Ram Man experience. And let's face it, Ram Man, probably one of the more popular figures that didn't get a whole lot of love as far as different variants. Didn't get focused on really a whole lot. They did a little bit better on focusing a little bit more on Ram Man when it comes to the 2000X MYP series. But, and I'm, anyway, they did show a lot of love to Ram Man in the Filmation series. However, it was, you didn't have like that solo story, unlike what you did in the MYP series. Now, when we first saw Ram Man, it was in the main comic, He-Man meets Ram Man. And, at first, Ram Man didn't trust He-Man. He got tricked by Skeletor. By the time the main comic issue was over, allies with He-Man. To be honest, probably of all the Masters, while they all had their strengths and stuff, Ram Man probably, to me, and like I said, this is an opinion piece, probably one of the more stronger of all the characters in the Motu line of characters. In a lot, in the cartoons, he came across as a little bit slow and dim-witted, but strong as a horse. Actually, that probably wouldn't be the right way for it. Strong as an ox. Okay? And, and that was fine because, he may have not had the strength like He-Man or the agility like just about every other one of the characters, or the technical prowess like Man-at-Arms. But you know what? He was always there. And in the Filmation line, in the Filmation cartoons, he always, he was in a good, I'm gonna say good 2/3 of the first season of the Masters of the Universe. Now, he was probably in very few ones as far as in the second part of the season. Love it when people don't understand. Hey, keep him out. That was our Joshua cameo for the night. Anyways, back to what I was saying. And, I really didn't realize how much Ram-Man was actually portrayed, in the original Filmation episodes. Until, I was looking through all the episodes and books and noticed that, he was in quite a few of them. So, and, and he even, I'm almost thinking that he had a couple of spots over at She-Ra whenever it came out. But now when we get to the comics lines on whatever, he got plenty of love throughout all the comics. Whereas the mini comics, anything DC's put out, the German Interpart comics, the UK comic mags, even the DC line, he was always there in some, one way or another. Artwork wise, here's where I start having a little bit of an issue because, you see all kinds of characters getting all kinds of different pictures drawn of them, stuff like that, but you really didn't see much of the Ram-Man. Now, I went flipping through all these Dark Horse books, and I got to looking right here, top row, page 26. If anybody's got the art of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, in a way, some of those drawings, that first depiction kind of looks, it's almost like they were gonna kind of draw them originally to make him look like the spaceman we all got with the class or the vintage Castle Grayskull, and I'm pretty sure it came with the classics one. It's one of those things I do not have in my collection is the classics version, but he got his fair share of love, there, but yeah, it is kind of struck me. It's kind of odd whenever I'm sitting here doing, looking up everything about Ram-Man first week's episode. I see that on page 26 there in that book, and I got to thinking about it, and I went and pulled out my vintage Grayskull, and I was like, wait, kind of does look like, they were going to try to make him look kind of like the spaceman. Now the spaceman, they slimmed him down, for the cardboard cutout we all got for the vintage Grayskull. So, overall, that was pretty cool. All right, enough about that. What this is really about is me talking about the toys and stuff. Now, I've got several different ones. Unfortunately, the one I do not have is the regular size version of the 2000X Ram-Man, but upon looking at it through various sites and then looking at the McDonald's toy, there wasn't much difference other than the fact that we got the axe with the regular 2000X Ram-Man. But We're going to start off with the old vintage version. You know, Rain Man is about as stock and standard as you could get. You know, yeah, he had the movable arms. He had the cool little action feature. You know, let him bounce. You know, so if you wanted to slam him into something, bam, he'd knock it over. He did come with an axe. This one I happened to pick up since over time I'd lost a lot of my vintage ones. But I mean, Rain Man, he was pretty. I mean, about bare bones is and normal that you could get with all the different figures we got by Mattel back in the 80s. I really can't think of too many figures that we got back in the 80s, vintage style, that had as little articulation as Rain Man. Like I said, he had the springs. You know, his legs didn't move. You didn't have them where you could turn them. You know, yeah, he had the arm movement. You know, that just went from side to side. You know, you didn't have the up and down like you did most of your other figures back in. Couldn't turn his head. You know, he was solid. And you know, in all honesty, I think, I've seen plenty of these Rain Mans out there, and I don't really see too often where you see somebody trying to get rid of one or one for sale somewhere where the spring is actually like shot in this thing. So I mean, that was pretty cool. You know, you had to love it. You know, it was probably one of those figures that will truly stands time. Now this one, yeah, he needs a little bit of paint decor, you know, to kind of fix him up. He's been well played with over the years, but you know, it actually ain't too bad. The only thing that was with his arm gauntlets is they had like a silver tape on there, and if you find one that's got the silver tape still intact, hey, you got still a pretty damn good one. Either that or you just really didn't play with the thing that much. Any of us that played with them a lot, that stuff wore off really quick. And, you know, much like all of his counterparts that would come later on through the years, he had that short little axe with him. So, overall, it looks like we're going to get around 2. Oh, hang on. Go watch TV. I swear I'm going to put a lock on this door for when I do this. Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, overall, the vintage one, like I said, while it didn't have a whole lot of articulation and stuff like that, he's standing the test of time. Now, we get to the 2000X one, and I apologize again. The only one I got is the little McDonald's toy that we got. But from what I'm seeing, other than the fact that the regular 2000X version did have the little axe, and he did have, you know, with him, everything about this one is no different than what we got with the 2000X. You know, you push him down, his head and shoulders bent over, and bam, he was off. A little bit heavier looking than the vintage Rain Man. And even in the MYP cartoons, you know, they depict him the same way. You know, it was a lot heavier. But, you know, all in all, and without actually having an actual 2000X Rain Man, pretty sure, you know, after 16 years, they're probably still holding up spring-wise, still pretty good. You know, you basically had all the same features as the vintage Mattel one. You know, push him down, he sprung up. Like I said, his head and shoulders, arms kind of went back, and he sprung forward, go bash things open. Now, While I don't know about the 2000X figure, if it does this or not, one little different point articulation. You could at least move his feet to where you could turn from side to side, which is something we could not do with the vintage toys. So for a McDonald's toy, that's still pretty cool. And I've probably got like 3 or 4 of these little guys around here. So, anyways, and if the 2000X regular version is anything like that one, looks like he did a pretty damn good job with it, to be honest with you. Couldn't really argue with it too much at all. Now, with that being said, now we move on to the only issue we got so far, or that we got from Mattel, was the big old red and silver Ram Man that we know and love from not only the vintage toys, the cartoons. He's always had that traditional red and silver look with the green pants, black boots. Now, yeah, you had all the great articulation, being able to turn his arms from side to side. They'll lift him up a little bit. And I think it's because of his armor and stuff, you really couldn't do a whole lot there. But at least you could move him forward and backwards if need be. Now, with his head and chest piece, they made to where it would move, with the upper body, where he could do stomach crunches somewhat, because his armor, he couldn't really do a whole lot of them. Now, he didn't have the same ability as what we had with the 2000X toy and the vintage toy, but at least we could at least now move each one of his legs, bend him at the knees a little bit, great. And it made him look like, how he looked throughout all the toys, all the comics and everything. It was great, except for like early mini comic variants that had him in orange and gray and red, and we'll discuss that here shortly. But overall, hey, Mattel did a great job giving us what we wanted. And I'm looking real quick just so I can solve the mystery, which at this point I'm going to grab out the mini comic collection book. And let's see. All right. He-Man meets Ram Man. All right. So pretty much, Ram Man originally came out in red and silver. Even red pants, dark maroon boots. Yeah, he had the silver armor, silver chains, gold little pieces right there. But, all in all, they did a great job with the way that he did look on there. And I'm trying to look and see, because I keep talking about the mini comic variant. And the only thing, and I'll discuss that one when we get to the Super 7 one here in a second. But yeah, he's always had that red. The only difference is his pants that are now green, much like his early Mattel vintage counterpart. So, like I said, all in all, yeah, they did a great job with him. With the way they made him look and all that. That was great. Now, try and keep this under a time limit for tonight. All right, so as we all know, the Mattel Classics Ram Man is probably one of the more expensive, sought after figures in the line. You can get a hold of him, and it still ain't too bad compared to, we'll just say, 2 others like Fisto and Shadow Weaver, but he's still pretty high up there. On a funny story, I got this one via trade with a feller on Facebook. And it was the second time that I have traded for a Classics Ram Man, because the first one, the guy sent him to me. We had a substitute mail driver. And what's really bad about this whole story is that substitute mail driver lives in my neighborhood. She delivered to the wrong house, 3 or 4 blocks away. That package was never seen again. Now, he had all the tracking information, and I went through and I looked through it, and sure enough, yeah, it had been delivered, but just not here. I completed my end of the trade because, that guy did too. I just didn't have it in my heart to go through and do something like that. And I'm really surprised I've not gotten any comments from anybody. Like, my buddy Ruddy has not showed up yet. I guess he'll catch us on the replay. So, anyways. So, as we all know, Mattel gave some of the rights to the Motu line to a company called Super 7 that been trying to go through and give us the toys that, an updated look at the toys that we all got as kids. Now, the first thing they released to us was this line called the Ultimates. And so we got, in the Ultimates line, we got He-Man, Skeletor, Faker, Attila, and thank God, a Ram Man. But what we got was the 8-card backed version of Ram Man. Now, to be honest with you, there is absolutely no difference in what he does compared to what we got from Mattel. It's almost like Mattel said, all right, well, here's the molds and everything for your Ultimates line, and that's it. That's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you the molds to some of the figures. You can go through and do whatever. So, like I said, we've still got all the same movements, same issues with this one as we did with the Mattel one. The only thing that we got separate from this fella right here to the Mattel Classics version was we got an alternate head of what Ram Man looked like without the helmet on. I swear, I never thought I'd have to do this one. And it was really cool. We went through and we could actually see what Rammy looked like without the helmet on. That was pretty cool. Now, the issue I know I had, and I know a lot of people around the world had, was while we got, they call it Ultimates Ram Man, we got, the only thing that was the biggest difference here was the colors. We got dull gray plastic coloring for his armor, his headpiece, and his axe. I'm sitting there looking at the two of them, and the axe, maybe there ain't too much of a difference. Classics one a little bit shinier. But we got the 8-back card version of him being in the orange tunic, red pants, and brown boots. You can even tell with the arm bracers. They're still that dull gray color. But, for us at the time, didn't have a Ram Man in our collection. This guy right here at that point. It was great. We got a Ram Man. We got to see what he looked like without the helmet on and everything. It was awesome. So I'll say this. I mean, with the exception of a few little, a few little things with it, as far as the coloring stuff goes, there was nothing wrong with the Ultimates Ram Man. Yeah, we didn't care too much for the orange tunic, the color style. We got, we had ourselves a Ram Man, Super 7 put out. Got the alternate head with him. It was great. There, other than the color variant, there's no difference in them. I didn't have too many problems with mine because I got mine brand new out of the box. I didn't have no issues with the way he looked. As far as the quality control that Super 7 did on him, they did a fantastic job with him. Even the material wise, I mean, it feels like it's the same materials as what Super 7 or Mattel made theirs out of back in the day. Now comes Super 7's other little venture, their reaction figures. Now, I was lucky to go through and be able to secure myself a Ram Man reaction figure. So, I mean, overall, looks like he's got, much like, though, if you look at like the Star Wars toys, stuff like that, you had the arms that move back and forth, up and down, legs that went back and forth. He came with the little axe. Looks great. I have yet to take mine out of the box, out of the packaging, because to be honest with you, the card art for him was just actually for any of these Super 7 reaction figures. The card art was just absolutely phenomenal. I really didn't want to tear it up, so I was like, you know what? He can stay in the box. He can stay in it. He can stay on his card. He can stay just the way he is. He just looks freaking badass. So I mean, it was great. On that note, now luckily, Ram Man, yet as of the time of posting this video today, Super 7 has not attempted to make a filmation version of him, even though I know there's going to be a day it's going to happen. All right, with that being said, that is it on my things about Ram Man. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. If there's anything that you guys see that maybe I could do a little bit different, these videos, feel free to let me know. I'm not the most technically technological guy and stuff, but I'll try. Next week. Now, I'm going to try to do these videos on Sundays. However, this coming week, I'm going to be out of town. So I'm either going to do up my next video and post it like Wednesday morning at some point, or I'll go ahead and have it all recorded, filmed, and all that, and it'll be just a posted video, not nothing live like it is right now. It'll be just a posted video here on YouTube. But next week we're going to talk about that fishy feller from the deep, from the seas of Rakashin. I'm talking about Merman. We're going to delve into old fish face next week. Like I said, due to the Thanksgiving holiday, either I'll do this live Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, or I will post a video up Sunday night whenever I return home. That being said, Feel free to find me on Facebook at Eric Glenn. They're on Facebook. You can also find me in some of the following groups. The first off being the Motu Man Cave. If you can get on there, good luck. Pretty exclusive, to be honest. Also, you can find me over at King He-Man and the Masters Universe, run by a phenomenal guy, a guy that me and a lot of others like to call the keeper of the books, and I'm talking about one James Manning. Also, you can find me because I'm one of the admins, and it's pretty easy to find. It's called, you can find me over at Wily Cat's Corner. It is a page for customs, artwork, stuff like that. So, you know, it's a page that we're getting launched up off the ground, do our thing. Also, you can find me if you type in Masters Universe, you will find a whole ton of pages. So if you're lucky and you're a legend, you can find me on a good, you know, on several of them. But anyways, I'm E-Daddy Eric Glenn. That's my look at the Ram Man figure and all that. And until next time, peace out. I'm gone. Y'all have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.